Welcome listeners to Drew's Weekly, NXT, the Wood Brothers Wrestling podcast that break down this week's episode of the WWE Network's NXT. It's May the 9th, 2018, and we've got Ricochet, we've got the NXT TV in-ring debut of EC3, we've got Cassius Ohno taking on Tommaso Ciampa, and we've got Nikki Cross, and so much more. I'm Drew, let's get it started. We are treated to a promo from the man himself. Ricochet immediately establishes himself on the microphone, even clapping back at an audience member about his missing socks. Ricochet is poised to take over NXT. Did you see what I did there? The Velveteen Dream's music hits and the charismatic young superstar meanders his way to the ring. As the two exchange verbal barbs, and some of the best flirting I've seen on television, Dream ultimately arrives at thinking that Ricochet, though he does make this look good, needs to take a spot at the back of the line, well behind the Velveteen Dream. While the two only almost came to blows, the feud that this promo is set up has the potential to treat the audience to not only an incredibly well-wrestled and flashy match at an upcoming takeover, but also a fairly flashy feud. Expect Dream to bring his A-game as he begins to clash with the one and only. EC3 makes his in-ring debut for NXT television, and if you're a fan of the TNA expat, you got exactly what you expected from his first match. EC3 squared off this week against Raul Mendoza. At the end of the day, while Mendoza did manage to mount a little bit of offense, EC3 was able to triumph via the 1%? Is that what his finisher is called? Well, I guess it's a better name than the love child of an F5 and an RKO. He cut a promo after the match to establish his character for the live audience and made the proclamation that he was going to turn NXT into NX3. It's pretty corny, and I'm not exactly sure what it means, but it sounds like the audience is going to love it. Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan approach United Kingdom champion Pete Dunne in the locker room and propose a union to take on their mutual enemy, the Undisputed Era. Lorcan and Burch just continue to be fun to watch, and we should all be very happy about Danny Burch's brand new contract with the company. This three-man team should be a wrecking ball headed towards the Undisputed Era, and it should make for an interesting six-man tag next week on the show. We move on to some more in-ring action as New Zealand's own Dakota Kai squares off against Vanessa Bourne. Vanessa Bourne's character work has come a very long way in her short time in NXT, and it's very much starting to show. The match was a good showcase for the ring fundamentals of both women, as the bulk of it was dominated by grappling and working holds. Kai unleashed a vicious series of running kicks throughout the finish of the match, picking up the pin on Bourne after what I think was a sunset flip backstabber. Some really neat offense from Kai in this win. She gets very little time to celebrate, however, as Shayna Baszler's music hits and the NXT Women's Champion makes her way down the ramp. After terrifying poor Dakota, Baszler turns her aggression to the fallen Bourne and locks in that chokehold. That's dirty pool, Shayna. After the commercial break even, poor Dakota has another run-in with the leather-wearing bully. But after the champ walks away, we hear some familiar laughter, and Drew is very happy to see that smiling, insane Scottish face. Welcome back to my television, Nikki Cross. You've been gone too long. So perhaps this could lead to Cross stepping in to knock the women's champion down a peg? Either way, if it has Nikki Cross, it has my attention. We head back out into the ring as the recently arrived War Raiders look to make good on their physical statements against Heavy Machinery with a win in a match between the two monster teams. If you were expecting a technical clinic or a high-spot highlight reel, this match probably wasn't for you. However, if you realize that this is just four monster men mashing against each other in the ring in an absolute smash-em-up of a 5-minute match, then you'll want to spend the time to check it out. Heavy Machinery managed to get a little offense in, but Hanson and Rowe were just too much for them, as War Raiders firmly staked a claim in the NXT Tag Team title hunt. Between this match, a strong promo from the Street Profits, and the action we've seen over the last few weeks, Strong and O'Reilly really need to be watching their backs. It's main event time, and my heart fills with joy as Tommaso Ciampa enters the ring to his awesome entrance track. Maybe you've heard it before. It's called The Crowd Booing the Ever-Loving Crap Out of Him. He seems to soak it in as he makes his way to the ring, truly embodying what a villain in WWE programming can actually be. Cassius Ohno's music hits, and boy does the big man ever look fired up. He's ready to get his hands on Ciampa. The bell rings, and we immediately hit the action. Ohno's offense from the opening bell is punishing, and in true Cassius Ohno style, it all looks like it hurts a lot. Ohno dominated for the first few minutes of the match, laying a hero-sized beatdown on the Sicilian psychopath. Some high-drama action as the match neared its end saw the two men trading monstrous bursts of offense back and forth, until Ciampa finally hit the fallaway cutter to pick up the victory. After jumping Ono and hitting him with a beatdown in the ring, Ciampa shouts a message. I broke Johnny's body. I broke Candice's heart. The Gargano fairy tale is over. And what a perfect fairy tale victim Ciampa has become in the land of NXT. The most hated man in all the universe. A man who enters to the sounds of those who hate him. Mauro and the other talent's reactions to Ciampa are really showing just how highly the Black and Yellow brand thinks of the Sicilian psychopath as a top heel, and with good reason. And while he isn't feuding for a belt at the moment, this kind of personal blood feud has always been compelling when done well, and I think Ciampa and Gargano will go down in history as one of the great feuds of NXT, and certainly within both men's individual careers. So there you have it. Another week in the books for the WWE Network's NXT. A good week for Tommaso Ciampa, a bad week for Vanessa Bourne, and Nikki Cross sure found something hilarious. Join me next week when we take a look at the Undisputed Era versus Birch, Lorcan, and Dunn, and so much more.